everyone, how are you? So far, if you remember, we created this application, this customer application that connects to our admin application. And this is an application that asks for the products created in the admin. And it actually provides the mechanism for the customer to see through the products and order stuff. So now this customer application, if you remember, we had this button here that says fetch product list. And when we clicked on that, we are seeing these products here. And also if you actually, this one is the admin application which is running. This is the admin application main function and main admin class. This one is the customer application class. Two processes are running side by side, and the customer process is connecting through TCP connection to the admin application. And the admin application so far has this textual main menu for changing the shop name, creating new product, and so forth. But we created a UI, a graphical user interface for the customer application. Okay, here you can see, if, for example, if you want to test the admin application, we can say, we can ask it to print the product list by pressing the number 6, which is this one here. So if we say 6, it will print the product list. Products, apple 100, orange 500. These are the prices actually. And also there is this print orders. There must be print orders, yes. There is 0 pending orders here. And we can say print pending orders by pressing 9. And it will say, it is telling us that enter correct value number between 0 and 8. So we've not added the printing of, let's say between 0 and 9. And here, let's say that if it is 9, we want to print the orders. And we don't have the orders yet. Okay, orders size. We don't have the printing orders function yet in the admin application. Let's create that. Okay, so in this one, we will iterate over the orders list. So we will add a for each on orders on top of the orders. And then we will try to print the order. So each order has items and the customer name. And the items are an instance of order item. So let's say we can print ln order from customer name and items. Again, we have to iterate over the items and print them one by one. Order. Let's change the variable here from it to order because we've got another one inside items and they might clash. So this one is item. We are explicitly defining the name of the parameter in the lambda. Okay, so now print ln, we are printing the item dot, it has amount and the product name. So we can organize it like this. Item dot product name multiplied by item dot amount. Print ln items and print ln. Okay, this is the function of the printing the orders. So let me run the admin application again. Come on, come on, come on. It is compiling, I think. The custom, oh yeah, it's a time. Okay, if you say 9, it will say, oh, there is no pending orders yet. So it is 0 in the admin side. So what we are going to do is to actually send and place order from the customer side. So we want to send orders from the customer to the admin with the help of this UI in the customer side. So we are fetching products successfully in the customer side. And we are deserializing the JSON received from the admin successfully. Now we're going to do the same for placing the order. So this is the UI of the placing the order. You can see when the products are fetched, we are creating a column from the previous session. This is the things that we've done in previous sessions. We are creating a column, and we are, for each product, we are adding a row, which includes a minus button, a plus button, and an info text, a label in between here. So we are iterating over the product list. Let's actually increase the font size here for at least the product size. We can say, I don't know if we've added the font size. No, we've not added. Let's add it. Font size equals, for example, 20. Create the member property in the text, of course. Font size, let's make it 10 as default. And the UI paint, we can say paint dot font size equal our font size. Okay, let's run the customer application to see if the font size of the product names are enlarged actually. Yes, they are now larger. 20 is okay. Let's add this font size to the buttons as well, to the minus and to the add button. And run it again. Okay, the button does not have font size. We should add the font size to the button as well. Let's add it. Let's make it 10. And we are assigning the received font size to the paint object, and the paint object will be passed to the canvas. So font size, and it's working. So the font size are bigger and it's more readable now. Let's add the functionality. So in a way that if we press the plus buttons, we want to see that these are multiplied by the number here. And if we click on the minus button, we want to see it decreased. Then we need a place order button at the bottom so that we can send it to the server side. Okay, so here in the customer application, in the UI, here when we are creating each row, we need to actually add click listeners. So let's say it's actually getting out of hand and ugly here, but bear with me. Just we want to make it work, and then we will refactor it as I've promised. So add button on press callback. Let's add a press callback to the add button. So let's say when the add button is clicked, we want to have an order item. We want to have an order item for each of these products. So I think, let me see. I don't see the order item here. Maybe it's in the admin application, the class itself. Yes, this is the order and this is the order item. Let's actually move them. These are the classes that we are using them both in the admin side and the client side. But eventually we will actually separate these code bases, the admin application and the customer application. But now they are actually intertwined with each other. So if we want to move it to its own file, we can press F6, I think, and say to package. Let's create a package DTO. DTO stands for data transfer object, because these classes are actually data transfer objects. You know, there are no, how can I say, no logic. There are just a bunch of fields that we are storing stuff inside them. So let's create the DTO here. DTO, data transfer object, and then let's move them to DTO. Yes, to its own file. Refactor. Okay, it's moved here. Let's move this one as well to DTO. Refactor it. We have order item. Let's rename them to actually DTO, order DTO. We are explicitly saying that this is an order DTO, this is order item DTO. We will use these for storing stuff and actually serializing them and sending it over to admin or customer and then deserialize it back. So in the customer side, for each products, we want to create an order item. So we have, of course, an order here, which is an order DTO. And then what it's saying, it is asking for customer name and for order name. Let's make the custom anonymous, if I get it right. I think I got it right. It doesn't matter. Anonymous, and then it is asking for a list of items right away, but we don't want to add them right away. What we can do is, okay, we can instantiate it maybe here. So let's have a bunch of order items, which is a list of, let's make it a mutable list because we want to add it in each iteration of order item DTO. Here at the end, no, maybe at the start, yes. We want to add to the order items a new order item DTO. And the product name and the price. Not the price, sorry, the amount. The amount is 0 initially, but we want to be able to change it, but it's a val. Let's change it to var because we want to change it here. Okay. So here we will say when the add button is pressed, let's bring it outside as an order item. Order item dot amount plus plus. We want to add to the order item amount. And if the minus button is pressed, we want to do the reverse minus minus if order item amount is greater than 1, greater than 0. Then we want to decrease it by 1, decrement it by 1. So we have on press callback for both of them. Now we want to actually change the title of this product info text each time the buttons are pressed. So we have to access it from inside the callbacks and say, let's copy and paste it there. And say multiplied by the order item dot amount, and also one for here. Okay, so in the callbacks we are changing the amount and we are updating the title and the caption or label of the product info text. At the end, we want to actually create the order with the order items. So we will have order equals order DTO, which has got the customer name and the products list. So we have populated and added the order items in this the iteration of the product list. So we have created an order item for each product, for each received product. Then we are going to add these order items to the order. So we have order items. Now that we've got this order, we can send it to the admin side. So we need to add a button to this column here. So add child, add product info text. Wait a minute. What are these doing here? The minus button, the product list, the add button to the row, and this one is the, yeah, this we should bring it outside here, outside of this iteration. And before sending the column back, we want to add another button, which is the, let's copy and paste this one. And change the name to send or place order button, which should be a button. The width, the height, the background color doesn't matter. The font size, but the text will be place the order. And then for its press callback, what we're going to do is to send it actually really to the admin. But before that, we have to add it to the column in order to see it displayed on the screen. So place order button will be added to the column of the rows of products. Okay, let's run it. We've not written this callback yet. We're fetching, we have this button here. It doesn't have any backgrounds. Let's change the background color to something else, for example, to 822 F AB. Let's see if we can see the difference. Yes, we've got this place the order button. When we press these callbacks, you can see these numbers here, that they are being increased. So the customer is fetching the products, is actually selecting how many of each it wants, the user wants, and then it will press this button, place the order, and then we will send it back to the admin. So let's do that bit here. For placing the order, we have this function here that you can see. We are creating this JSON object and JSON array, and we are putting each item like this, and then we are sending it over to this IP address, which is the local host, which is the admin, and the port and the method HTTP method post and the request URI place order. Okay, what we are going to do is to add the functionality of serializing to the DTOs. We don't want to copy and paste this serialization over and over everywhere. So let's add them to, let me copy and paste them. Items. Okay, let's go to order. No, first to the order item. And let's add a toJSON property here, which is a val, and it will create a JSON object. So we will have this function here. We have to create this JSON object item and product amount return item. Okay, so we added this toJSON function here, which serializes this instance of this object DTO to JSON, the JSON object. And we have to do the same for the order DTO. So we have to add a toJSON, which sends back a JSON object. Paste it here. For this one, we need the whole JSON serialization here because okay, so not while true, but for items dot for each items dot add or put, yes, put it dot to JSON. It must have it to JSON, but I don't see them. Oh, it's because it's thinking that this items is this one, but I want this items. So we can say this dot items to JSON. Okay. And we can get rid of these, put the items to the order JSON and the customer name to the customer name. And we can return the order at the end. So we added this toJSON function for serialization of the order DTO, which uses the toJSON of each item for serialization of the items. Now in the customer application, we can say, let's get rid of these. Let's ask for an order DTO, and when it is received, we will call the toJSON function property, and then the toString to serialize the whole order to the JSON string, which is a JSON object. And then we will try to send it over to okay, now if we call this function here in the callback, because we have access to the order, we can send the order to the admin. I think that it should work. Maybe we have some problems in the HTTP connection side. Let's see what will happen. Actually, I'm so curious. Okay, now we are fetching the list and we are asking for 2 apples and 1 peach and placing the order. We've got an exception here. It is telling that customer name items are received, but the JSON object amount is not a string. So in the handle request, we are trying to ask for a string, but it's not a string. It is a number. I think it's integer. Get int. Run the admin again. Okay, let's place the order again. It's not responding. I don't know why. Let's quit it. Run the customer again. Fetch products. Ask for 4 oranges and 1 peach and place the order. Okay. New order. You can see in the admin application console, we have this bit here. It is saying that new order has been received from mass.od and HTTP 201 is been returned, content length, and order was placed. So in order to test that, let's print the pending orders. Let's say 9. And you can see we have order from mass.od items, 4 oranges and 1 peach. And we have 1 pending order. So in the textual menu of the admin application, we are able to see the order received from the customer. And the serialization and deserialization parts are working actually. And I forgotten how because what I remembered was that there was a bit of problems there, but it is working. So you see that we can change, for example, 5 apples, 1 orange, and 2 peach. Let's go to admin console and place another order. The order again is received. You can see the JSON is received. This is the JSON. The serialized JSON object off of the order DTO from the customer side. And it has got the right amount, 2 peaches, 1 oranges, and 5 apples. And if we ask for printing the orders, this time we will have 2 orders. The previous one, the second one is 5 apples, 1 oranges, and 2 peaches. And we have got 2 pending orders. Okay. I think it's enough for this session. And actually, we are moving in the right direction. We are trying to, this code has to be actually refactored. We have to refactor this code because the UI logic and the domain logic in the admin side, and also the connection and the architecture, and you see no architecture here, nothing. Just a bunch of sequence of execution of statements, actually. No architecture, no layered architecture like MVC or MVP or clean architecture. And we have to do them. But before that, I just want to motivate you guys by showing you actually a graphical user interface and then a server application, an HTTP server, which is written totally from zero, from the ground by ourselves. Thank you for listening and watching. Hope you learned something. Thanks. Bye.